Did you know that the food you eat can affect the amount of mucus in your body? That's right, some foods can actually increase the production of mucus, which is a sticky substance that traps bacteria, viruses, and other particles in your respiratory system. Mucus is essential for your health, but too much of it can cause problems, especially if you have asthma or COPD. Excess mucus can make it harder to breathe, cause coughing, wheezing, and chest tightness, and increase the risk of infections. So, what are the foods that cause mucus and why should you avoid them? In this video, we will reveal the worst 10 foods that are bad for your mucus levels and explain how they affect your body. You might be surprised by some of them. And at the end, we will share with you some foods that can actually break up excess mucus and help you get rid of it. So, without further ado, let's get started. Number 1. Dairy products. You might have heard that dairy products cause your body to make more mucus, but that's not exactly true. What dairy products do is make your mucus thicker and stickier, which makes it harder for your cilia to clear it. This can lead to a feeling of congestion and a buildup of mucus in your throat and chest. Why does this happen? Well, scientists think that it has something to do with the fat content in dairy products, which can affect the viscosity of your mucus. So, what can you do to avoid these problems? Well, one option is to reduce or eliminate dairy products from your diet. Some studies have suggested that a dairy-free diet can reduce mucus production and improve respiratory symptoms, especially in people with asthma. Number 2. Sugar. Sugar is one of the worst foods for your mucus levels. It is a type of carbohydrate that can raise your blood glucose levels. When your blood glucose is too high, it can trigger inflammation in your body, which can increase mucus production and make it more viscous. Inflammation can also damage the cells and tissues in your airways and lungs, making them more vulnerable to infections and exacerbations. In fact, studies have shown that people with diabetes have lower lung function and higher risk of COPD than normal people. But that's not all. Sugar can also lower your white blood cell count, which means you have fewer soldiers to fight off infections. It can also impair the function of your white blood cells, making them less effective at killing germs. So, as you can see, sugar is bad news for your mucus levels and your overall health. If you want to breathe easier and prevent infections, you should limit your intake of sugar as much as possible. Number 3. Bread. Bread is made from wheat, which contains gluten. Gluten is a protein that can trigger an immune response in some people, especially those with celiac disease or gluten sensitivity. When this happens, the body produces inflammation and mucus to fight off the perceived threat. But even if you don't have celiac disease or gluten sensitivity, bread can still cause mucus problems. Bread is a high carbohydrate food that can raise your blood sugar levels and stimulate insulin production. Insulin is a hormone that can increase mucus secretion in the airways by activating certain cells called goblet cells, which are responsible for producing and releasing mucus to protect and lubricate the respiratory tract. The worst types of bread for mucus production are those that contain gluten or are made from refined flour, such as white bread, bagels, croissants, and pastries. These breads have a high glycemic index, which means they can spike your blood sugar and insulin levels quickly and cause more mucus secretion. Number 4. Banana. Bananas are a healthy fruit, but they can also cause mucus in some people. Bananas are rich in a chemical called histamine, which is normally produced by your immune system to fight off allergens. Histamine causes your blood vessels to dilate and your mucus glands to secrete more fluid. This is helpful when you have a cold or an allergy, as it helps to flush out the invaders. But if you have a sensitivity or intolerance to histamine, eating bananas can cause too much histamine to be released, leading to excess mucus and phlegm. If you have asthma or COPD, your airways are already irritated and inflamed. Adding more mucus and phlegm can make it worse, as it can clog up your airways and make it harder for air to flow. Instead of banana, choose fruits that are low in histamine, such as apples, pears, grapes, or berries. They are just as tasty and healthy. Before we continue, if you have been enjoying the video so far, Hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss more videos like this. Number 5. Coffee. Coffee contains caffeine, which can weaken the muscles that control the opening between your stomach and your esophagus, which is the tube that connects your mouth to your stomach. This can allow stomach acid to flow back into your esophagus and throat, which can irritate and inflame them. This irritation can trigger more mucus secretion to protect the lining of your throat and lungs. Other than that, caffeine can dehydrate your body, which can make your mucus thicker and harder to clear. Dehydration can also reduce the effectiveness of your cilia, which are tiny hairs that line your airways and sweep away mucus and debris. When your cilia are not working well, mucus can accumulate in your lungs and cause more problems. So, what can you do to avoid these negative effects of coffee? Well, the first thing is to limit your intake of caffeine. The FDA recommends that healthy adults consume no more than 400 milligrams of caffeine per day, which is equivalent to about 4 cups of brewed coffee. However, if you have asthma or COPD, you may want to reduce your intake even more, especially if you notice that coffee makes your symptoms worse. Number 6. Eggs. Eggs are a common source of protein and nutrients, but they can also trigger mucus production in some people. Eggs contain a protein called albumin, which can trigger an immune response in some people. This means that your body sees albumin as a foreign invader and tries to get rid of it by producing more mucus. Other than that, eggs also contain histamine, which is the chemical we talked about in bananas. Histamine can make your blood vessels expand and leak fluid into your tissues, causing swelling and inflammation. This can also increase mucus production and make your airways more sensitive and reactive. So, if you have asthma or COPD, you may want to limit or avoid eggs in your diet. This may help you reduce mucus production and improve your breathing. Number 7. Tomatoes. Tomatoes are juicy, delicious, and versatile, but they are also one of the foods that can trigger histamine release in your body, which can lead to more mucus and inflammation. Other foods that can do this include cheese, wine, beer, chocolate, strawberries, shellfish, and fermented foods. These foods can vary in their histamine content and their effect on different people. Some people may be more sensitive to histamine than others, or may have a deficiency in an enzyme that breaks down histamine in the body. This can lead to a condition called histamine intolerance, where even small amounts of histamine can cause symptoms. Number 8. Processed meats. Processed meats are meats that have been cured, smoked, salted, or preserved with chemicals. These methods can make the meat last longer and enhance its flavor, but they also have some drawbacks. Processed meats contain high amounts of nitrites and nitrates, which are converted into nitrosamines in your body. Nitrosamines are known carcinogens, which means they can cause cancer. In fact, the World Health Organization has classified processed meat as a Group 1 carcinogen, the same category as smoking. Even though smoking is much more risky than eating processed meat, the latter still increases your chances of getting lung cancer. Processed meats can also damage your lung function and cause COPD by increasing the inflammation and oxidative stress in your lungs. Number 9. Soda. Soda contains ingredients like sodium benzoate and high fructose corn syrup that can cause inflammation and make your airways more sensitive. Inflammation can also stimulate mucus secretion and make it thicker and harder to expel. Soda is also carbonated, which means it has bubbles of carbon dioxide gas. When you drink soda, some of this gas can enter your digestive system and cause pressure and discomfort. This can affect your breathing and make you feel like you have more mucus in your chest. Number 10. Alcohol. Alcohol can reduce the amount of glutathione, which is an antioxidant that protects your lungs from damage in your airways. It can also impair the function of your cilia, making them slower and less effective at clearing the mucus. As a result, you end up with more mucus in your lungs, which can block your airways and make it harder for you to breathe. This can also increase your risk of getting infections, as the mucus can harbor germs and bacteria. So if you do drink, drink in moderation and not on an empty stomach. Also, drink plenty of water to stay hydrated and fit in the mucus. So, these are the 10 foods that cause mucus and phlegm in your body. But don't worry, there are also some foods that can help you get rid of mucus and feel better. Here are some of the foods that can break up mucus and reduce inflammation. Number 1. Garlic. Garlic has antibacterial and antiviral properties that can help fight infections and reduce inflammation in your airways. It also contains allicin, a compound that can loosen mucus and make it easier to expel. Number 2. Omega-3 fatty acids. Omega-3 fatty acids are unsaturated fats that can help regulate the amount of inflammation in your body and the mucus that comes with it. They can also boost your immune system and protect your lungs from infections. Some foods that contain omega-3 fatty acids are fatty fish, walnuts, flaxseed, soybeans, and chia seeds. Number 3. Onions. Onions are rich in quercetin, a flavonoid that can reduce inflammation and mucus secretion in your airways. Onions also have sulfur compounds that can dissolve mucus and ease congestion. Number 4. Broth-based soups. Broth soups are rich in nutrients and can help loosen up mucus and reduce congestion. They are also hydrating, which can help your body better clear mucus from your system. Soups can also soothe an irritated throat and calm a cough. Number 5. Hot clear liquids. Water, tea, and other hydrating drinks can help break up mucus congestion in your throat and lungs and prevent dehydration. Warm fluids can also soothe an irritated throat and calm a cough. So, these are some of the foods that can help you get rid of mucus and phlegm in your body. You can watch our videos on best herbs and drinks to cleanse your lungs from mucus to learn about other natural remedies for your lungs. Now, we want to hear from you. Do you eat some of these foods regularly? Do they actually worsen your symptoms? Share with us your experiences and opinions in the comments below. We love to hear them. Thanks for watching.